A 23-year-old food delivery driver stands in Judge Caprio's courtroom facing a parking violation. Should be simple: explain the situation, maybe get a reduced fine, done. But this kid has a problem. Every time Judge Caprio starts to speak, he interrupts. Every time the judge asks a question, he talks over the answer. He's casual, relaxed, acting like he's chatting with a friend instead of addressing a judge in a courtroom. At first, Judge Caprio is patient. Then, he's firm. Then, he's had enough. What happens next is a masterclass in why respect isn't optional in a courtroom, and why some young people need to learn the hard way that your mouth can cost you everything. Hit subscribe right now because 97% of viewers haven't subscribed to Judge Stories, and this case proves why attitude matters more than excuses. By the end of this video, you'll watch a kid turn a dismissible violation into a harsh penalty, all because he couldn't stop talking long enough to listen. Here's the question: when did young people forget that some situations require you to shut up and show respect? You're about to see what happens when that lesson comes too late. Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m., Providence Municipal Court. The court calls Tyler Mason, illegal parking in loading zone, Broadway Street. A young guy walks in wearing a DoorDash delivery jacket, jeans, sneakers. He's got earbuds hanging around his neck, phone in hand. The vibe is immediately too casual for a courtroom. Judge Caprio looks up. "Mr. Mason, good afternoon. Please approach." Tyler walks up, still holding his phone, looking around the courtroom like he's sizing up a restaurant. "Mr. Mason, you're cited for parking in a commercial loading zone. Can you tell me what happened?" "Yes, sir, Your Honor. I was doing a delivery. Put your phone away, please." Tyler glances at his phone like he forgot he was holding it. "Oh yeah, sorry." He puts it in his pocket, but the dismissive way he does it shows he doesn't really think it's a big deal. "Go ahead, Mr. Mason. Tell me what happened." "Right, so I was delivering food for DoorDash, and the customer was in this building on Broadway, and there was literally nowhere to park." "Like how long were you parked there?" Tyler doesn't wait for Judge Caprio to finish. "The whole street was full, so I just pulled into the loading zone for like 2 minutes. I was running the food up to Mr. Mason. I asked how long you were parked there, right?" "Yeah. Like I said, maybe 2 minutes max. I was super quick because I had other deliveries waiting." And Judge Caprio holds up his hand. "Mr. Mason, when I ask a question, I need you to wait for me to finish before you answer." "Oh, for sure, Your Honor. Yeah, I got you." But his tone suggests he doesn't really got anything. There's a casualness that's starting to grate on everyone in the courtroom. Judge Caprio reviews the citation. "According to the parking enforcement officer, you were cited at 6:47 p.m. on Tuesday. The officer noted that your vehicle was parked in a commercial loading zone with hazard lights on, right?" "Exactly, because I was delivering." "I'm still speaking, Mr. Mason. My bad, Your Honor, go ahead." The phrase "my bad" in a courtroom makes several people in the gallery wheeze. This is not a basketball court. Judge Caprio continues, his patience already thinning. "The fine for parking in a commercial loading zone is $75. Judge Caprio takes a breath, clearly working to maintain composure. "Mr. Mason, let me explain something about commercial loading zones. They exist so that businesses can receive deliveries. When you park there for personal delivery work, but I was delivering food, which is technically," Judge Caprio's voice sharpens. "Mr. Mason, I'm not finished." Tyler falls silent, but his body language shows he thinks the judge is overreacting. He shifts his weight, crosses his arms, looks slightly annoyed. "As I was saying, commercial loading zones are for scheduled business deliveries, not for individual food delivery drivers to use as personal parking spots. Do you understand the difference?" "I mean, kind of, but Your Honor, with all respect, if I can't park there and there's no other parking, what am I supposed to?" "You're supposed to find legal parking, Mr. Mason, even if it's a block away, even if it takes you 5 extra minutes. The law doesn't have an exception that says, unless it's inconvenient." Tyler lets out a small laugh. Not malicious, but dismissive. "Yeah, but Your Honor, if I parked a block away every time, I'd never make any money. The customers complain if their food takes too long. My rating drops. And Mr. Mason, your business model is not my concern. Following parking laws is right, but I'm just saying the system doesn't really work for delivery drivers. Like the city needs to figure out." Judge Caprio's patience snaps. "Mr. Mason, do you not understand that you need to stop talking when I'm addressing you, Your Honor? I'm just trying to explain." "I don't need your explanation right now. I need you to show basic courtroom respect and stop interrupting." The courtroom has gone quiet. Everyone can feel the tension escalating. Tyler incredibly still doesn't fully grasp the gravity of the situation. Okay, but can I just say one thing about no? You cannot just say one thing. You can be quiet and listen. There's a moment of silence. Tyler looks genuinely confused about why the judge is so upset. This is the problem. He fundamentally doesn't understand that his behavior is disrespectful. Judge Caprio leans forward. Mr. Mason, how old are you? 23, Your Honor. 23 years old. And then Judge Caprio stands up. And when he stands up, everyone knows something serious is happening. Mr. Mason, you think you're being respectful? Yeah. I mean, I'm calling you Your Honor. I'm using the title Your Honor while continuously interrupting me is not respect. It's lip service. Do you know what respect actually looks like? Tyler doesn't answer, finally sensing he's in real trouble. Respect looks like listening when someone in authority is speaking. It looks like waiting your turn to talk. It looks like understanding that a courtroom is not a casual conversation. It's a formal legal proceeding. I understand that, Your Honor. Do you? Cause your behavior for the past 10 minutes suggests otherwise. The bailiff moves slightly closer, ready to intervene if needed. The prosecutor is watching intently. This has gone from a simple parking case to something more serious. Judge Caprio continues, his voice controlled but hard. Mr. Mason, I have been a judge for 35 years. In that time, I have dealt with thousands of defendants. Some were nervous, some were scared, some were angry, but most of them, regardless of their situation, showed basic respect for this court. Tyler shifts uncomfortably but says nothing. Finally, you walked in here with earbuds around your neck and your phone in your hand. You've interrupted me at least a dozen times. You've used casual slang like my bad, and for sure as if we're friends hanging out. And when I've asked you repeatedly to stop interrupting, you've continued to do it anyway. Your Honor, I didn't mean any disrespect. Then what did you mean, Mr. Mason? Explain to me how repeatedly ignoring my instructions to stop talking shows anything other than disrespect. Tyler opens his mouth, then closes it, realizing there's no good answer. You know what I think, Mr. Mason? I think you've grown up in a world where everyone gets to speak whenever they want. Social media, text messages, interrupting people mid-sentence, and nobody has ever told you that there are places where that behavior is unacceptable. Judge Caprio sits back down, but his stern expression doesn't soften. This courtroom is one of those places. When you're standing before a judge, you don't interrupt, you don't make excuses. Judge Caprio pulls up Tyler's record. Mr. Mason, you said you have previous parking violations. Yes, Your Honor, 2. Let me read them for the court. March 15th, parking in a handicapped zone while making a delivery. You paid a $250 fine. Tyler winces at the memory. May 22nd, double parked on Westminster Street, blocking traffic. You paid $150. Your Honor, both of those times I was just Judge Caprio's hand shoots up. Did I ask you to speak? No, Your Honor. Then don't. The rebuke lands hard. Tyler's casual demeanor is finally cracking. So, we have a pattern. 3 parking violations in 6 months, all related to your delivery work. Each time you've decided that your convenience matters more than parking laws. Is that accurate? Tyler hesitates. I wouldn't say it like that, Your Honor. How would you say it? I'd say I'm trying to do my job efficiently, and the parking situation in this city makes it really hard for 4 delivery drivers. Yes, I've heard this argument multiple times from you just now. There are a few suppressed laughs from the gallery. Judge Caprio continues. Mr. Mason, here's what concerns me most. It's not just that you broke parking laws 3 times. It's your attitude. You don't seem to think the rules apply to you. You don't seem to understand that your job doesn't entitle you to special treatment. Your Honor, I do understand that. No, you don't. Because if you understood it, you wouldn't have parked illegally for the 3rd time. And you certainly wouldn't have come into this courtroom and repeatedly interrupted me despite being asked to stop. Judge Caprio looks at the citation amount. $75 for the parking violation. That's standard. Tyler looks relieved for a moment. However, due to your repeated violations and your complete lack of respect in this courtroom, I'm adding a $200 penalty for contempt of court. Tyler's face goes white. Your Honor, you didn't show contempt. Mr. Mason, you interrupted me over a dozen times. You used casual slang. You acted like this proceeding was an inconvenience to your busy schedule. That's contemptuous behavior. Your Honor, please. I can't afford. Judge Caprio's voice loses some of its edge, but remains firm. Mr. Mason, I want you to understand something. I'm not punishing you because I'm on a power trip. I'm not doing this because I don't like delivery drivers. I'm doing this because you need to learn a lesson that nobody has apparently taught you. Tyler nods, looking at the floor. You're 23 years old. You're working. You're trying to make money. That's commendable. But you're also making choices that show a fundamental lack of respect for rules and authority. I do respect authority, Your Honor. Judge Caprio holds up one finger in warning. Tyler immediately stops talking. That what you just did? That's the problem. I said you lack respect for authority, and your immediate response was to interrupt me to argue that you don't. Do you see the irony? Tyler nods slowly, understanding finally starting to dawn. Mr. Mason, respect isn't just about what you say. It's about how you act. It's about listening. It's about following instructions. It's about understanding that some situations require you to be quiet and humble, even if you think you have a good explanation. An elderly man in the back raises his hand. Judge Caprio notices. Yes, sir. The man stands. Your Honor, may I say something, please? I'm 72 years old. I grew up in a time when you didn't interrupt adults. Period. You certainly didn't interrupt a judge. Watching this young man today, it's clear nobody taught him these things. And that's a failure of his parents, his schools, society. But I'm glad you're teaching him now, even if it's the hard way. Several people in the gallery nod in agreement. One woman adds, my grandson is the same way, always on his phone, interrupting everyone. No respect for elders or authority. It's a generational problem. Judge Caprio addresses Tyler directly. Mr. Mason, you're hearing this. Multiple people in this courtroom have noticed what I've noticed, that your generation struggles with basic respect and courtesy. Do you think that's fair to say? Tyler considers carefully before answering. Maybe, Your Honor. I honestly didn't realize I was being that disrespectful. And that's exactly the problem. Tyler looks up, making eye contact for the first time. No, Your Honor. I really do understand. I came in here thinking this was just like a conversation about a parking ticket. I didn't understand that there are different rules here, that I needed to act differently. That's the first honest thing you've said since you walked in here. Where are you watching from? Comment your city if you believe young people need to learn respect, even if it costs them. Judge Caprio continues. Mr. Mason, you're going to pay this fine, all $275 of it. And I want you to remember something. Every time you're tempted to park illegally, because it's more convenient. What's that, Your Honor? I want you to remember that the rules exist for everyone, not just for people who find them convenient. Not just for people who have time to follow them. For everyone, and when you decide the rules don't apply to you, there are consequences. I'll remember, Your Honor, and I want you to remember something else. The next time you're in any formal situation, a job interview, a meeting with a boss, any interaction with authority, be quiet and listen. Don't interrupt. Don't make excuses. Show respect through your behavior, not just your words. Yes, Your Honor, I will. Because if you don't learn this lesson now at 23, you're going to learn it at 30 or 40 when it costs you a lot more than $275. It'll cost you jobs, opportunities, respect. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Judge Caprio picks up his gavel. Fine is $275, due in 30 days. If you receive another parking violation within 1 year, your vehicle will be impounded. Court is dismissed. The gavel falls. Tyler stands there for a moment, processing everything that just happened. Finally, he speaks quietly. Your Honor, can I say something? Judge Caprio raises an eyebrow. Now you ask permission. Yes, Your Honor. May I speak? Go ahead. I'm sorry, really sorry. Not just about the interrupting, but about the parking violations. About thinking the rules didn't apply to me because I was working. You're right. I need to do better. Judge Caprio's expression softened slightly. Mr. Mason, that apology would have been more effective 20 minutes ago, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Now, go find legal parking for your deliveries. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. As Tyler leaves, Judge Caprio addresses the courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen, that young man came in here thinking this was casual. He learned it's not. Hopefully, that lesson sticks. Subscribe to Judge Stories right now for more moments where judges teach respect that should have been learned at home. Tyler Mason walked in casual and carefree. He left $275 poorer and hopefully wiser about respect, authority, and the consequences of thinking rules don't apply to you. Judge Frank Caprio proved once again that sometimes the best teaching comes from harsh consequences and that some young people need to learn the hard way that your mouth can cost you everything. This is what accountability looks like. This is what happens when attitude matters more than excuses. And this is why showing respect in a courtroom isn't optional. It's